7 News on your side at 11 starts now. We begin with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news at 11 o'clock, a crash sends one car flying off the Memorial Bridge into the icy Potomac River. Drivers, divers rushing to find that submerged vehicle right by the steps to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And take a look at this video. One witness capturing the moments shortly after the crash. You can see part of that bridge railing is gone. The video also shows what appears to be one of the wrecked cars. 7 News' Christian Flores is live on that scene tonight. And Christian, what do we know about the driver and any others who were involved in this crash?
Well, we just learned from a press conference about an hour and a half ago that the driver of the vehicle that was sent soaring into that icy Potomac River is an adult man and has life-threatening injuries. And right now, we're actually a lot closer to the Memorial Bridge than we were an hour ago. If you follow me, you can actually still see there are a lot of detectives still in the middle of that bridge. They're investigating what exactly happened to lead up to this crash. Now, this is about as close as we can get to some of the detectives that are still out here on scene, but we also want to show you some video from earlier this evening when we got a first-hand look at the crews, the dive crews that were working their way through the Potomac River to find the man in that car that fell into the river, that plunged into the river, really. Now, what we know is that this all started when 2 cars crashed on the Memorial Bridge. One car stayed on the bridge, another car fell into the Potomac River. Now, dive crews had to work with icy conditions, the current of the river, looking for that man in that vehicle. They were able to get that man, send him to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Now, there were also 2 people who were inside the car that stayed on the bridge. They had minor injuries. Only one was taken to the hospital. But we mentioned the conditions out here. Take a listen to what exactly made this challenging for rescue crews.
The divers have equipment for conditions like this. It's hard work. It's very dangerous work. So not only are they dealing with cold weather, they're dealing with the current, they're dealing with limited access. They've all been through rehab. There's no other injuries to report to any of the responders. But it really is a complicated effort with about 6 agencies involved tonight.
Now, you heard that sort of good, that good news, really, in a really tough situation where the divers, nobody was injured. They were obviously given an evaluation once they got out of that icy river just to make sure that they were okay. Now, as far as the car that went into the river, that's still in the river. So crews will be returning tomorrow morning when it's light outside to try to find that vehicle. We also learned that in the 3 or so searches looking for possibly other victims, they didn't find any other victims, just that one man who was taken to the hospital. As you can see behind me, it looks like the Memorial Bridge is going to be closed for quite some time. Reporting live on the Memorial Bridge, Christian Flores, 7 News.
And this, by the way, is not the first time that we've seen a crash on or near the Memorial Bridge. John Rogers picks up our team coverage from the alert desk right now. And John, there have been multiple crashes along this stretch.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have seen that in recent years, Scott. So we've seen a few cases of cars falling into the Potomac near the Memorial Bridge. This here was December of 2023. One person was pulled out of a car that was submerged in the river near the bridge. It's unclear how the car got there, and while the man was taken to the hospital in critical condition, he sadly later died. And then there was another case over in September of 2022 when a pickup truck slammed into the Memorial Bridge and nearly plummeted into the river. You see the truck kind of had dangling over there. The truck had hopped a sidewalk and slammed into the concrete wall. Now, also in back February of 2013, there was another case where a driver ran off the Virginia side of the bridge and slammed into the water. That driver had non-life-threatening injuries, Scott.
John, thank you. Christian is staying on scene to bring us updates throughout this newscast and on WJLA.com. Back now to our breaking news. A crash sends one car off the Memorial Bridge into the icy Potomac River. Checking in again now with Christian, who is live at the scene. And Christian, the bridge still closed. It's going to be a while, won't it?
Yeah, that's what it seems like, and that's what we were told earlier during the press conference. You can actually see there are still detectives in the middle of this bridge taking a look at what exactly happened, what exactly caused this crash. Now, here's what we do know is that one car crashed into another, sending that vehicle plunging into the icy Potomac River. Now, what we've been told is that the driver or the person in that vehicle in the water is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Right now, you're not only looking at our live picture of detectives, but you're also looking at what it looked like earlier when crews were in the water. Now, we were told by the fire chief that this was a pretty tough rescue mission because of the icy Potomac River that always makes things tougher, along with the current of the river. So they got checked out after getting out of the water and they're okay. But again, we're going to be out here for most of the night to take a look at what exactly is going on here and how detectives are going to keep this bridge closed for how long. Reporting live at the Memorial Bridge, Christian Flores, 7 News.